these kids have had a great message, haven't they? They have told a story. They've told a story of life. They've told a story of a road, the journey that they are taking, that we are all taking in our lives, aren't we? Every one of us. We are all on that road. And on that road, there's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of brokenness. There's a lot of things that happen in our lives, isn't there? It's not always easy to choose who God is in our lives and to pick up that cross and carry it every day. And this road reminds us this whole evening, and as Carolyn and I have taken this journey in these last month, or it's been longer than that, I'm sure. But preparing this together, it's been a road, and it's been a journey, and we've gone through lots of little things in our own personal lives that have taken us different directions in our lives. And do we recognize who God is in all those things that the journey that God takes you? And all the stuff that comes flooding into our lives, do we hear Him and do we recognize Him walking beside us? Do we know what that call is and that tug of your heart is when He is telling you something's going wrong in the family? And do you walk with God in ministering to them? Do you use every circumstance in your life to glorify who God is? And that is the walk in the journey of our life. Recognizing who He is in everything that we do. Everything that we say. And it is not easy. These kids know it's not easy. It's not easy to stand for the God in their lives. It's a rough journey at times. And it's a rough journey for all of us. But as we take this road, and I hope that you keep this picture in your mind as we walk the journey and walk with our Savior, that we know that He's there. There were two men that were going on a road to Emmaus, or they're on the road, and they were going to a town or a village called Emmaus, and they were on their way there, and just before they began the journey, Jesus had died on the cross and rose again, and they were discussing that on the way. And as they were walking down that road, Jesus came along beside them. They didn't recognize who He was. They didn't know that it was Him that was there beside them. But He began in a conversation with them and began talking to them about what they were experiencing or what happened. And the two men said, "Well, are you new in this community or something, in this town in Jerusalem?" He said, "Well, no." He says, "Jesus of Nazareth has just been crucified and has risen." And there's these ladies that have noticed that He really has risen. They went to the tomb and they saw that He was gone. And the angels told them as well that Jesus had risen. And Jesus says, well, don't you think that needed to happen? And Jesus began to talk to them and discuss the old scriptures with them. And they began discussing back and forth. And it was about 7 miles that they were walking down this journey, and they continued to talk. They came to their village, Emmaus, and they stopped there. And they said, "Would you like to come in and have some dinner with us?" And Jesus says, "Oh, I need to go on. I need to travel on." And they said, "No. Would you really come? We want to continue discussing these things with you, and we want you to come into our home and be with us and eat with us." And he said, "All right, I'll stay." It was growing late that evening, so Jesus sat down. He sat down at the table with them, and He began to break bread with them. And when He broke the bread, and He began to serve them, they recognized who he was. He was the Son of God. He had risen. And right after that, he had disappeared. They flew off. They decided, oh my goodness, we have been with Jesus. He did really rise from the dead. This is an amazing story. And they came, and what they did immediately after is they took up their things and they went back to Jerusalem, and they went back and talked to the other disciples, and they told them the same story, that they had met with Jesus as well. They were so excited. Do we recognize God in our lives and the things that we do? In everything that we do. He is there. He walks those journeys. And I know that each one of you have walked journeys in your life in just this last month or two, and those are the most things that come to my mind. And I know I've walked through some things in our family and our personal lives, and I've watched and I've seen my mother-in-law be healed through this last month, and I've watched Jesus walk with me through a death in our cousin's life. And I'm also watching Jesus walk as we were having a practice last week. This lady walks into the door crying. And she runs to the restroom, and we gathered our things and decided we would go and see what was going on with her. And things unfolded a little bit. We realized that she needed a place to stay, and she needed to go to St. Helens. And Carolyn and Pam took her to St. Helens, and Carolyn was telling me the story as they went there. And there was something a conversation that they had that really pierced my heart. And the lady was looking through Carolyn's things, and she found a little book, and then she said, I just love little books. And so Carolyn proceeded to give her this little book, another book that she had. And it was called Jesus Calling, right? And it has lots of little devotionals in it. And Carolyn said, would you please read this? And she says back to her, if I have it, I don't have it exactly right, Carolyn, but I'll tell it the way I heard it. And that was, your heart has to be open to receive it, doesn't it? And that is exactly right. She said, you have to be open to receive the message of God. When Jesus is speaking to you, and he was walking, he's there beside you a lot of the times, and we don't even recognize him. But he's there. And you have to open your heart and recognize that he's there. And do what he has called you to do, and that is spread his word and to share him with others. That's the Jesus we have tried to speak to our youth. That he is there in their lives and all the turmoil and all the troubles in their lives. Because we've experienced a lot of those troubles in our life, and we have watched God walk through them. He has been our healer. He has been our sustainer. He has been our comfort. He has been there for us. And that's the message we want to give to them, because we love them. And we want them to spread the news of God and feel that comfort and that healing in their life as well. And they have tried to share a little bit of that with you this evening. And they've experienced those things. And how they've experienced those things is being here on Thursdays and Sunday mornings and going on trips and doing the things that we do. And sometimes you think, oh, they're just always so busy. Yeah, they are. And so are we. And it takes every single one of us youth leaders in order to minister to their lives. And as you heard that there were different people that touched their lives and that spoke to their hearts. It took all of us, and it takes you as parents as well, and grandparents and friends and people in the body of the church help these students grow. But these journeys are something else that we do, and we raise money to go on them. And we are heading, there's 23 of us that are heading to an International Youth Convention this summer as well, to Denver, Colorado. And we are still trying to raise some funds. We're a bit short. And we are continuing to work on that. And we ask you to invest in these lives, because these lives, as you saw tonight, are changing. You're seeing, you heard their testimonies of who God is in their lives, and they want to serve Him. As the last song they sang, I stand. They want to stand for who He is. They love Him. And they want to serve Him. And all the encouragement that you have given them through these years as a church body has been very valuable in their lives. Has changed their lives. It's changed my life as I grew up as well. And I'm going to ask my offering takers to come up here, and we are going to take one offering tonight. And that is to support the youth. It goes completely into their savings account. And all the monies go to serve them and to help them get to these different places, because, as you know, it is difficult to get to them. And I try to make their costs as least as possible for them to go places. And that's why we do a lot of fundraisers. But the biggest thing that we always want to do tonight is more than just raising money, is to share with them what God has done in their lives. To take you on that journey that we get to take every day with them. But you just get a piece of it tonight, of the talents and the gifts that they have.